What's going on? Just pulled up to the district office of Assembly Women Solages. Very excited to be interviewing the first woman of Haitian descent to be elected to the Assembly. Um, I think this is going to be a great one for Women's History Month. Let's keep highlighting our women.
I'm just trying to. This is my district office, and I won't be losing. Oh, it went well. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was awesome. Yeah, I like the flow of it. It was great. Oh, you too.
Hey, how's everyone doing? We're here for a special edition of the Cana Project. For the month of March, we've been highlighting women doing huge things in their communities, their societies. We really wanted to highlight all of our strong women for Women's History Month. So today we have a very special guest with us, Assembly Woman Solage, and we're gonna talk with her about some things, allow her to take off her political boots for a little while and just sit and talk and, do what we do here at the Cana Project. I know that the district that you're, ahead of is very diverse.
Yes.
It's a very diverse area, Elmont, North Valley Stream.
Yes.
Can you just talk about promoting that diversity? I know you do a lot of community work, and right now we do have a president, like you said, 45, that promotes separation.
Exactly.
So this is a time where that's needed. Diversity should be something that's on the forefront. So can you just talk about what you try to do in your communities? And
Well, the
promote
22nd Assembly District is so diverse, from
Right.
Floral Park, which is predominantly Italian,
Right.
Irish, to all the way to North Woodmere, which is predominantly Jewish, and in between having, Elmont and Valley Stream, which is a large Caribbean culture,
Right.
very South Asian, Muslim. It's so diverse.
Yes.
When I started this job, I was very skinny, but when going around eating people's food,
Right.
experiencing people's culture, I learned that this is what America was built on.
Absolutely.
We are the country, we're the melting pot, and New York
Right.
State is the melting pot.
Absolutely.
And so, living here in Western Nassau County, I've learned that I appreciate all cultures and all ethnicities, and that's what makes us great. That's why we're such a great state and a great country, is because we're so different.
Absolutely.
But we can all take our perspectives and add them together and work together to build unity, to send freedom out to different places, and also to just be unified against causes that really hurt our country, hurt our state.
True. So much truth in what you just said.
Yeah.
You do a lot of things. You vouch for state funding for your community.
Yeah.
I do believe that it's very important to take care of your community, and vouching for them and state funding and getting money towards communities that don't necessarily get that or they get overlooked is a very important thing. And me being a young African American male, I notice how there's not a lot of things that we can do for extracurricular activities when I was coming up. So to know that that's something that you do, can you talk about the importance of that and why that's something that you really fight for?
On average, when you talk to people, and you say, "Oh, can you name a politician?" They
Right.
seem to always name their U.S. senator or their congressperson.
Right.
It's quite funny.
Absolutely.
They probably don't know the name of their state legislator or their assembly person. And so, being a state legislator, I always want to educate people about how important the states are.
Right.
A lot of what we do in this country is actually dependent on the states. Our forefathers built it where the states have the power.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a state legislator, we have huge budgets. New York State budget is $168 billion. You know what I could buy with that? You know how many horses we could free with that?
A whole lot.
A whole lot, right?
A whole lot, right.
And so, as a state legislator, I want to make sure that that money is allocated wisely, that it comes to our community, and all communities, equally, fairly. And so, I fight in Albany to make sure that we advocate for state funds locally. And I'm blessed to actually have Belmont Park in my district,
Wow.
which is one of the most premier racetracks.
Absolutely.
And so I'm always fighting to make sure we protect the backstretch workers, and we also make sure that horses have money to retire.
Wow.
Because we love the free horses. We wish they're all free, but unfortunately we have some horses that are used for racing.
Right.
But just because their careers are over doesn't mean that they can turn to meat or glue.
Yes.
That we should put them into retirement. And that sends a message to our communities. And so as a member of the Racing and Wagering Committee in New York State, I fight for that. And so I appreciate everything that you do.
And we appreciate you for doing that. There's a lot of people that don't even know about the issue with our wild horses, that they're being rounded up and placed in holding facilities. So it's a beautiful thing to see people in an urban setting that are doing things for our wild horses and our horses that are being put to work, and that's a beautiful thing. Thank you for that.
I wish all horses were wild, though.
Oh, absolutely.
So, we don't need racing.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
Exactly.
We're working on it. My last question, I just recently had a daughter, so I'm very keen to certain things about children and babies and mothers. I know that you're currently fighting for rights, and you want to have more sterile places for women to breastfeed their children. We talk about rewilding, and what rewilding means to us is bringing something back to its quintessential state of being. And I know that breastfeeding is something that was accepted in society long ago, and that was something that you did. You had to give your child those nutrients. So can you talk about what you're trying to do with that?
Oh, definitely. When you don't need a crystal ball to determine how your state is going to grow. You look at the most vulnerable population, which is usually our babies and our mothers.
Yes.
And when we provide services and support to our babies and mothers, they grow, our communities grow, and our state grows. And so I've learned to focus on that initiative from my own experience being a mother and going through some of these trials and tribulations. Right. And so one trial I had was breastfeeding. They made it sound so easy that you could just put the kid up and then,
it's not easy.
And not at all. And, as a society, we don't do enough to support mothers in breastfeeding. And, it's important because proper nutrition is important. We always express to everyone that you need to eat well. And so our babies need to eat well.
Definitely.
And so I've worked very hard to make sure that mothers are comfortable in either breastfeeding or pumping. Right. And so I've fought for lactation centers in airports, in public buildings, in courthouses, and in workplaces. Right. And it's important that we provide good nutrition to our youngest children. The first 1,000 days of life are very important. That can determine your social and economic and physical outcomes for the rest of your life. And so, I've worked very hard to make sure that mothers can breastfeed and that children can have proper nutrition. Wow. Yeah, and it's very important. I mean, there's other factors dealing with infant mortality and maternal mortality that we have to look at. But let's start with something that people can see, which is breastfeeding. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you. Being a new father, I know how important it is and how uncomfortable it could be going into these filthy restrooms and not really having an area to feed your child.
Exactly. So, you don't eat in the bathroom. I don't eat in the bathroom.
I certainly don't.
So you shouldn't breastfeed in the bathroom.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I want to thank you for that, and I want to thank you for all of the great things that you're doing. I want to thank you for coming on this show and just shedding a little light and stepping out of your, political shoes and just kicking it with us for a little while. Thank you for that.
And thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
It's so important. And then, we need horses for the next generation. The white rhino just became extinct. I heard giraffes are going.
Yes.
And so we don't want to see our wild horses go either.
We don't. They're very important to American history. They help build this country.
That's very true.
For sure. So thank you. And before we go, can you just inform the people where you're located, what your district is, who you are, how can they reach you? Is there a page they could like?
Yeah. Once again, my name is Assembly Women Michaelle Solages, and I'm the state representative for the 22nd Assembly District here in New York State. And if you want to follow me, I'm on Facebook at Michaelle Solages. Type it into the search bar. And I'm also on Twitter, MICHAESOLAGES. And, I'm available, to you to help advocate. And, this is your government, so we have to be involved. And so I'm here to help you. So I thank you so much, and I appreciate you watching. And like and subscribe this page as well.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, guys, tune in for the next episode.
yeah, 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 yeah.